What are the key obstacles to ensuring that, of course, sir, the release of the Israeli detainees, and how likely will the ceasefire hold from your own vision and narrative, sir?
First, Hamas' surprising position is not understandable, and giving justification to the US president um, to take further steps, especially to Trump, to get out of the agreement at the ceasefire, which is releasing all hostages next Saturday. This surprising decision uh, might be even not just to Hamas, maybe it's a decision by someone else. We need to hear now. We had to listen to Trump's scheme to relocate the Gaza population again and again. This plan is very dangerous and endangers the entire region. The Hamas decision is actually met by an Israeli welcome, because now uh, also the US administration led by Trump um, to continue the fight next Saturday. Now we're all waiting if they were gonna go back to war and we're gonna start from scratch. I don't think it's a very close potential, because even the Israeli leaders now for really do not want to go back to the fight. The now the next few days will be very decisive and under Trump, and I think Hamas would actually release all the hostages if they only release the 3 hostages and we went back to the original agreement. This will mean that the US president is only saying empty talk, and he does not actually means what what he says. With all the threats, the region will witness further escalation, more than a diplomatic escalation. Um, yes, we see now Israeli violations by not entering the tents and the camps to the Gaza population. We see these Israeli violations to the ceasefire agreement, but they are not major violations. The most important thing is stopping the destruction and not giving justification to continue the fight once again.
Okay, sir. How do Egypt and Qatar's diplomatic efforts influence the Gaza ceasefire, and what role do they play in preventing further escalation, sir?
I think the diplomatic efforts will actually succeed, because all the installations and the maneuver and announcing the agreement between the two parties, the expected violations from both ends. Um, Now, we are going to see the truce continue, because there are no real objectives of the military operations. The only objective is to push the population to the Egyptian borders by force. And if Trump wants to open the gates of hell, Hamas wants to open the gates of the fight as well. But now we see the Hamas going back to the traditional original agreement, releasing 3 hostages, and they're also compromising their requests to enter more humanitarian aid. In my point of view, I think the mediators will exert diplomatic pressures to present different alternative propositions, and will not leave justifications to the US or Trump to exert more destruction. or more suffering on the Palestinian people. I think this decision, after the yesterday's summit between the Jordanian king and President Trump, and Trump requested that Hamas continues its end of the deal. I think we're witnessing a lot of negotiations behind closed doors to continue the ceasefire to the phase 2 and 3. We have seen some delays, but eventually this agreement is the American and not Israeli.
What are the potential long-term implications for the Gaza's reconstruction if the region's residents remain on their land, as emphasized by Egypt, sir?
I think that Netanyahu, after coming back from Washington, and also Trump is setting new goals after Trump announced that Gaza is an American territory. I think he does not speak the language of diplomacy, and yesterday the reactions to what has been proposed, that there is an Egyptian card and there is a five actor summit is to be held, and new ideas to be proposed, which is an Arab coordination to support the Egyptian role in the Gaza reconstruction and keeping the population on their land. Trump here is leading a contradicting idea. Now we see the Egyptian pressure being practiced against the relocation schemes. One way or another, Trump wants to lead a U.S. program to redemark the Middle East. These programs supported by the U.S., meaning that now we will see very important, significant Arab efforts, and it is very important that all Arab states come together to
Yes.
face the American scheme for the Middle East. We are talking about political harassment with allies in Egypt and Jordan, which are very serious indicators that the Trump determination to enter these states, which is a scheme to redemark the Middle East. There are ill intentions even for post relocation, post displacement phases, not only just the displacement.
Sir, how significant is the U.S. administration's pressure on Hamas to release detainees, and what impact does this have on the broader peace process?
It's a very important question.
Thank you.
Yes, تفضل.
Sir, do you need me to ask you the question again? Sir, how significant is the U.S. administration's pressure on Hamas to release detainees, and what impact does this have on the broader peace process? And you said it was a very important question, sir.
Is now faced. If it's really serious to ensure peace and security, the pressures of the U.S. will be directed to complete the truce and the ceasefire agreement, not to set new impossible objectives to release all hostages in one day, which actually hinders the entire agreement. If there is no U.S. seriousness, and we are seeing now very ill intentions to delay the truce and to for Gaza to become the strategic objectives and to relocate the population, which is putting the Arab nations in a very tough position to receive the Gazans. Any procedures taken by the United States leading to violence is an expression of ill intentions for more new wars between Israel and the states of the regions. Now we have to see Arab unity to face the displacement of Palestinians and enabling them to hold on to their lands. These and Now Trump says that he wants peace and security, but these plans that he is proposing actually are against the two-state solutions, and they need to dedicate to actually ensure peace in the region. The real test here is next Saturday, so that we can see if he is serious about his threats or not, if we are gonna see further escalation or not. And in my opinion, Israel, on a deeper level, they do not want to go back to the war. They are only a tool in the hands of the United States of America. They are the one creating the policies. As if Trump actually now Trump announced Gaza as an area of U.S. influence.